We are getting ready to head to
Aquarium Encounters here in Marathon.
something we was going to do last time, but we ended up kind of running out of time. Something new and fun to try out.
That's right.
This Aquarium Encounters is just over on the other side of the 7-mile bridge from where we're staying. And I don't know about Allie, but going over this 7-mile bridge never gets old to me. I absolutely love it. What say you?
It's a cross between being a little nervous, because I'm a little nervous across bridges. My mind just goes to the worst places. But I also think it's gorgeous. So it's like, I don't know, scary, but beautiful.
So we just finished our tour of Aquarium Encounters, and I gotta say, it was worth the price of admission.
It's $30 a person to get in for the basic admission. They also have other experiences that you can add on to that as well, like swimming with a shark, which is you're not really in the tank with the sharks, but you're close to them, feeding different animals and that type of thing.
So I think for the two of us, it was a little over $60 with tax and everything. Definitely worth the price of admission. It took us about 2 hours to go through the whole thing. We saw everything from barracuda to tarpon to all kinds of different fish that we've never seen before, different kinds of parrotfish and that
Shark and stingrays.
Sharks and stingrays and starfish, and there was a lot of tanks where you were allowed to actually touch like the stingrays, or you were able to touch the starfish and the horseshoe crabs and stuff like that. So it was a lot of hands-on things there. And of course they also had wash stations so you could, wash your hands when you're done. They do actually sell food and drinks. They had a little snack shop. I noticed they had like hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that.
Even had beer.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. If I'd have known that, I'd have had me a beer. But I would say between this and Marineland last year up in Flagler Beach, St. Augustine area, I enjoyed this more. There was more walking in the shade, a lot of breeze here in the Keys, so you never got too hot. Some of the things when you went out in the sun were definitely hotter.
Yeah, but at least you could get into the shade quick if you needed to.
Yeah, and we enjoyed, Allie brought a bunch of quarters in because they have a lot of those little feed stations where you can put a couple quarters in, get some food.
And that was a lot of fun, feeding the fish, and we fed gators. Baby gators, they allow you to feed those too.
That was very cool.
Ooh. That's awesome.
Something wrong with the water? And I just love the big tanks that had the sharks in it, and you could see the sharks and the different fish swimming through, but then you could also go up and around it on top and look down from above and see everything, which was cool.
Perspective, yeah.
So all in all, highly recommend this if you're staying near Marathon and in the Florida Keys.
And you need something to do, you want to get out and about, you don't really want to get in the water, and you're like, oh, let's find something fun to do here.
It's a good alternative to like snorkeling, and being able to see the fish from snorkeling perspective. You can actually see a lot of those fish here.
And from the road, it doesn't really look big. Like when you drive by, you think, that's it? You see the building, but that's just the
tip of the iceberg. Basically, it goes way back in there.
Yeah, it goes farther in. Yeah,
so. It's not super big still, but it's a lot bigger.
It's not like Busch Gardens, Disney World big, obviously, or SeaWorld, but
and I don't think it was as big as Marineland up in Flagler Beach, but it's big enough. It took us 2 hours to go through it and see everything.
Yes,
so.
And that's what it said when I was researching about it. It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe longer if you're going to do an extra experience.
Yeah.
But it took us exactly 2 hours. They have a little gift shop when you're walking in to pay for it. And then when you leave, you can buy, they have a lot of souvenirs too. We got a little shot glass and sticker.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing checked off of our list of things that we've never got to do while we've been in the Florida Keys. Yeah. We wanted to do this last year, didn't get to do it. I know we are going to get Pigeon Key done this year. I really had planned on it last year, but with Nikki's health, our dog that was kind of failing and everything, that we ended up kind of saying, next time. And we're going to do that, but there's going to be some other things we're going to do. This is just one adventure, and we'll see what the next adventure will be tomorrow. Well, today's adventure is we got the bikes loaded, and we are going to head to Pigeon Key. Last year when we tried to do this, the day we was planning on doing it, it was raining. Doesn't look like rain today. So apparently Pigeon Key opens around 10 a.m. and it is 9:30 right now. It's just across the bridge here from Sunshine Key. Should be there within 15 minutes. So we're going to try to be one of the first ones into the park and try to beat this heat today. Well, you're going to get some sun today.
Yeah, I put plenty of sunblock on.
We are.
I won't get burned.
We are finally doing this.
Bucket list.
Finally doing it. Pigeon Key. So we got a 2-mile bike ride down to the island in the open sun. We have finally made it to Pigeon Key. I guess there is a tour at, what she say, 11:45 there's a tour, and at 12:15 or 12:45 they do the shark feeding here.
You want to do it?
Or I have heads too.
Yeah. So we just wrapped up the tour here at Pigeon Key. It was a very good tour. We had a very good tour guide named by the name of Julia. We learned some pretty interesting things, like we knew that True Lies filmed some scenes here on the 7 Mile Bridge. Did not know that Arnold Schwarzenegger actually tried to buy this island.
I know.
That's crazy. But we did learn some interesting history.
We also learned that the men, while they were building the train tracks here, they stayed on this island. There were 400 men, and they all stayed in this one building and some tents outside. Can you imagine being all piled together in a tent in this heat here?
So the cost of admission here was $15 per person as we rode our bikes across. I think it would probably be maybe more if you were doing the trolley. That I'm not sure. But if you walk or bike up, I know it's $15 a person. We're going to head into the gift shop here and see if we can't find us a t-shirt.
So our tour guide had the cutest t-shirt. It had a picture of a pigeon and a key, which stood for Pigeon Key. And it was a cute tie-dye shirt. I want to see if I can go get me one because I thought it was an adorable shirt.
And a sticker.
And a sticker. Yeah, here it is.
Got the shirt.
So, pigeon and a key. And here's the t-shirt.
Cute.
In the back it has a little one.
Oh, sweet. All right, so adventure number 2 down, Pigeon Key. This is, like I said, a bucket list thing for me for the last 3 or 4 years. And it did not disappoint. So if you get the chance to do this, I highly recommend it, especially the way we did it by using our bikes coming across. I really enjoyed that. It's a very beautiful ride across the bridge. Taking a little pause for the cause on our way back from Pigeon Key.
My butt hurts.
It's a 2-mile bike ride out here, so we're in no hurry.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Just enjoying this absolutely gorgeous water here. So we are back in Key West. We are not actually really doing a bucket list thing this time, but we are going to get a flight of beers, and we have to do it quickly because we only got an hour. So let's hope we don't have to wait long for this flight of beers. Well, I just enjoyed a flight of beers at First Flight. Never been in there before. Can't say that that was a bucket list place, but I tell you what, they had one of the best, I don't know, what do you call that? It's like a local brew, or I don't even think that was an IPA. It was just like one of their own beers, right?
I don't know.
But it was amazing. It was so good on the flight that I actually ordered a pint. And we absolutely had to go to the original Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville restaurant. Cannot believe we've never been to the Margaritaville in Key West. We've only actually been to one Margaritaville, period. I don't think I can come to Margaritaville and not get a cheeseburger in paradise. So I'm getting the cheeseburger in paradise. What are you going to get?
Grilled chicken sandwich.
In paradise? Chicken sandwich in paradise?
What?
Chicken sandwich in paradise?
Yeah. Chicken sandwich in paradise.
It's loud in here.
It is. You can hear Buffett singing.
Oh yeah. Probably gonna get demonetized. So since they gave us the French fries, I'm cheating with one French fry. French fried potatoes with ketchup. Well, we're finally going to try the Hemingway rum tasting. This is another thing. That's good.
What do you guys think? Good.
It's hot, hot, hot.
You can see the sweat on my face. You
Yes.
know it's hot. I barely sweat.
Yes. And we just said that Allie needs a shot of Jaeger stat. She didn't know what stat meant.
Yeah. Now I've learned it.
Do you know what stat means? Leave it in the comments below. All right. Yes, I like pickles. Oh, yeah. So just to show you guys, they have named this Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. So cool. We do love our Jimmy Buffett when we are in the Keys, and we're going to crank some Jimmy Buffett right now.
Yes.
So apparently where we thought Jimmy Buffett's house was in Key West is not where it was. We actually looked it up and it's here. And you can actually see there is a statue memorializing him in his front yard. Years ago we were told that there was a house down just off of Duval Street where he lived. Now, maybe he did, but it's not showing up in Google. So I'm assuming that that waitress either didn't know what she was talking about or she lied to us. So we just seen Jimmy Buffett's original house that he stayed at here in Key West, and it actually was where this waitress years ago that we met in an alley was basically saying that he lived, and then Kenny Chesney ended up buying the house for a short time. So I guess Jimmy's had a couple of houses here in Key West. So we're getting ready to make our second visit to Fort Zachary Taylor's Historic State Park here in Key West, but we never got to check out the fort before. We got here too late, so we just got to see a sunset. This time we're trying to get here a little bit early so we can actually check out the fort. What we remember, this is a great place to catch a sunset. Although we probably will actually not do sunset here. We're probably going to go downtown and catch it at Mallory Square tonight. But we're looking forward to checking out this fort. If you follow our channel, you know we love forts. We love history. Big gizzard. It costs $7 for the two of us to get in here. So it's not bad. We're still thinking about getting that state park pass. So we just learned something here because we had no idea that he was a president. So right past the bathrooms here as we're walking in, there's a blacksmith shop. This looks really cool. So this is the part where we couldn't get in last time as they had the gate locked, because it does close at 5 o'clock. So we got about an hour to explore today right now. Plus we had Nikki at that time, so no pets. And there it shows the hours, 8 to 5. And I guess they do have ranger guided tours here, huh? According to this sign.
So we just learned here that this Fort Taylor opened as a historic state park in 1985.
A couple years just before I graduated.
And in 1971, a year after I was born, it was just designated as a National Historic Site.
We're going to explore the bottom level first, and then we'll go up to the top. It says that there was troops stationed here during World War I and World War II. I tell you what, I feel sorry for those troops because it's hot as
I was
Hades
just
here.
thinking, I'm like, think about all these men dressed in their uniforms and
Having to
those
live here.
that clothing was not the coolest.
No, I think they wore like wool.
And having to
I don't know, but
endure this.
it's pretty toasty out here, and it's We no more talk about how hot it is out there in the open yard.
And in here, in the shade, so pleasant.
It's like 30 degrees difference, it feels like. The breeze coming through here. So maybe that's how they survived in the heat here.
Maybe.
I can't even tell you how much better it feels in here with this breeze coming through these halls. Oh.
It is so nice.
So nice. It's so cool that we've seen so many forts that are kind of designed this way. I guess that's the way they designed them around the turn of the century back in the late 1800s.
Little arcs like this?
Yep.
Fancy.
And look at the size of those cannons. Those are some big guns.
Looks like a prison.
Well,
Look at the wall right there. It's like, wow.
It does look like a prison wall, prison bars. But I think this is a bathroom. Unless I'm wrong, if somebody knows anything better about this, then let us know in the comments. But it looks like this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-person bathroom. Oh wait, there is more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more.
There's a lot of water dripping through here.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't reckon this was a prison part, like a jail cell?
May have been. Ugh, this is creeping me out.
It's a little freaky in here.
Just a little bit.
Definitely get a good view of the moat through this little window. Just how big it is, how wide it is. We're gonna head up top now, and I bet you it's gonna be hot, hot, hot up to the top. I have a feeling. It does say that there's some uneven surfaces, but these steps look new. These are definitely not original steps. I mean, maybe not new, but not original. There's a big cruise ship in right now. So that's why we saw all the people walking down Duval Street. Like our friend Jeff said, he's like, you gotta watch when the cruise ships are in port because it gets slammed busy. And way over there in the distance, I see the lighthouse that we want to try to check out this time while we're here too. Hopefully we can. Maybe we'll do that on Friday when we're picking up friends down here at the airport. Well, it's definitely a little hotter up here than it was down below in the shade, but we're still getting a good breeze up here, which is nice. I think that's why it was so hot down there, is this building, you know, this fort is blocking the breeze from that center courtyard. Very cool though, enjoying this fort very much so. We were just saying we haven't seen a whole lot of iguanas on this trip. We've seen 5 or 6 already here at Fort Zachary Taylor. Wow, it's really cool. I'm not quite sure what was mounted here, but I think it was probably the big gun that we saw where a soldier was like inside the barrel of it, because whatever was there was huge. And this is the harbor view. Average Civil War cannon range was 3 miles, and it shows you here from Fort Taylor how far it could reach. That's pretty cool.
This is the jail cell.
Yeah, we just learned that.
Oh wow, look at all the carvings, initials and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these were probably prisoners who did that.
I'm thinking
And
so.
probably a few tourists, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, because this says 2021.
Yeah, unfortunately. We thought this was like a chapel, but no. This must be where they just do some presentations and explaining. So originally this was the main door and the main entrance to the fort.
And there was a wooden walkway, a pretty long wooden walkway that all the personnel would walk on to get into here.
Yeah, to cross the island, cross onto this island. So yeah, this is another jail cell on this side here. It's just they have it locked off.
Is that solitary confinement?
Well, I think they both were, technically. But look at the lock on that thing right there. Look at the lock. Allie decided to sit this part out. Yeah, climbing more stairs and coming up top on this other side. Have to say though, really have enjoyed this Fort Taylor. It's been very cool. and very hot at the same time. Allie missed out on this part. She's sitting down in the shade, but this is pretty cool. 2 sets of stairs climbing up there, and there is another big iguana. That is a big boy right there. Scared me. But look at here, hidden treasures. There's guns that were cemented into the concrete. That is so cool. All right, I may have to go down and try to convince Allie to come up and check this out because it's very cool up here with the breeze. This is very, very cool.
So does this meet your expectations of what you anticipated?
I think so. I mean, definitely worth the price of admission for, $7 to get in for the 2 of us. Like I said, we loved before. We love our history, and this fort definitely has a lot of similarities, like Fort Clinch and the one we saw up in the Panhandle, like Fort Pickens. So it kind of looks like the pictures we've seen of the dry tortugas, which is definitely a bucket list for me. She's a little nervous about doing the dry tortugas because you have to get either a long boat ride there or it's going to be an airplane ride there.
This is definitely another bucket list item that we've checked off. We wanted to do it last time. Unfortunately, it was closed, so we got a chance to do it today. And if you're really into history, this is really a neat place to come to here in Key West.
If you have the time, I would definitely check it out. What do you think so far?
Very nice. Beautiful drive.
Very windy.
Pretty turquoise water. It is very windy. But it's better than walking, that's for sure.
Well, after riding bikes here for a little bit, gotta say this is fun. Fun being able to ride the bikes here in Key West.
The breeze is so, it's just so nice to hear.
You can see more and not die from the heat, here in June. I think we're gonna go ahead and ride back to the Bronco. We're gonna try to find her a new bikini, because she needs a new bikini, and go back to the campground and maybe enjoy the pool for a little bit. Well, I think it's going to wrap up our Key West adventure this time around. We got to do a lot of things that we wanted to do this time, but this morning we had planned on doing the Key West Lighthouse. That was one thing we wanted to get done. After we dropped our friends off at the airport, went back around and waited for them to open, there was no parking.
Right, and I was so exhausted because we had to get up early this morning. We had to get up at 5:15 to get them to the airport, and then their flight was delayed. But it turned out to be a good thing because we were able to go out and have a nice breakfast, last little breakfast together.
We actually went back to a place we went to last year that was just down the street from the Butterfly Conservatory. If you guys haven't seen that video, we'll put a link down below for that. That was really cool.
The name of the restaurant was called Banana Cafe.
Very cool place.
Yep.
Used to be a residential house way back in the day, so it's got definitely a down-home feel there. The food was great this morning too. She had banana Fosters. Yeah, banana Fosters. Waffles.
Oh my goodness, they were amazing.
And I just had the straight up old bacon or no, actually I didn't do bacon. I did sausage, eggs, and toast because I've been cheating a lot on my food here on this trip. So we had to kind of rein it back in a little bit this morning. Mm-hmm. No waffles for me, unfortunately.
Right.
But we got to do the Blue Heaven with our friends. The things that we got to do on this trip, like the rum distillery and, seeing the fort. Got a few of those things checked off. Obviously, Pigeon Key was the big one for me.
That's right.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. So if you're new here or if you haven't subscribed yet, please just take a second, hit that subscribe button.
And ring the bell so you know when we upload new videos.
And drop us a comment down in the comment section below. We love to hear from you. We will see you in the next video, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.